Let's get right into this, guys. Let me share my screen real quick. I want to say congrats to all the winners from last week. Oak taking the money home. Oh, wait, sorry, Slim won the money. Just so used to Oak winning it, but I actually whooped his ass. So sorry about that, but I'm not really sorry. Let me just share my screen real quick here. Check this Pacer score.
Made 3 of their 8 and has 11 first quarter points. Monday night in Boston.
So let's look at this waiver report. John Boy going out and stealing the Cowboys away. Let me see if I'll zoom in a little bit. John Boy stealing the Cowboys away after Slim dropped them on their bye and they didn't look very good. They have a really favorable schedule coming up. Beating out Slim, tried to get them back, wasn't successful, $10. A couple other things I want to point out. This one's hilarious. Oak picking up Matthew Stafford for $5. No one else bid on him. Also, he's hurt. And third, his bye week is the same as Mahomes. So I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I really like when this happens, two of the same offers, but because Pick had the higher waiver priority, he gets the Falcons D over Tommy. The funny thing is that they're going to be starting Heineke, and so I picked up the Vikings D. We'll see how that one goes. Really low over under. I think it's at like 35 or something. Tommy also stealing Geno Smith away a little bit. I think this could be a really sneaky pickup. I'll take a look here in a minute and see. I don't know who he has when Tua's on bye, but we'll see. It's probably a favorable matchup. Tommy's pretty savvy player. Blake getting Steelers D. That's a good pickup. And Young Ho, whatever the hell his name is. I don't know about any kickers. Who knows? It's all a dart throw. Let's switch over here to the waiver priority. Just want to make sure everybody understands. If you put in the same bid as someone, if you're higher than them on the priority list, you win the bid. Tommy with $93. Can't take it home with you, bud. Can't take it in, when you die. So spend it at some point, maybe saving it for the playoffs. Who knows? Losing Nick Chubb. I have $0. So I'm going to have to get lucky all year long on the waiver wire or someone dropping someone or whatever. So we'll see what happens there. Let's move over to the standings here. Pretty much 5 teams with a really high percentage chance. I think I still have an outside chance to miss the playoffs, especially with this shitty roster that I've been scrapping together ever since everybody got hurt. I think Spakey's probably the favorite, playoff percentage, but also roster-wise. Even though Pick has a couple key players. What? I'm right in the middle of something. I'll be up in a minute. Let's see. Taco. We're going to have to look at this dude's schedule and roster and see if there's a possibility of 0-14. I think it's possible. He'll probably beat me since I said it, but points for tiebreakers right now, it looks like actually, wait a second. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, Spakey also has the tiebreaker over this fucking guy. How is he even 4-4? He's luckier than me. I just have good defense, you guys. So be ready for that. All right, let's take a look at a couple of other things real quick. I want to pull this up. Let's look at the top 4 rosters. So John Boy has really gotten, potentially a nice little steal in Sam Howell. They're going to be down a lot. They're going to be throwing it a lot. He's been slinging it. Granted, the Eagles don't look very good. But geez, awful. Let's see here. Oh, and stacking with Logan Thomas. That's also a big one. Love you too. Good night. Got some depth at wide receiver. I know. The Pacers are. The Celtics are good, though. It's bedtime. A couple of other sneaky pickups. And then also don't forget Jefferson's coming back at some point. And Dobbs was slinging it. If Marquise Brown can be a top, whatever he is, 20 wide receiver, Maybe Dobbs can support Jefferson and Addison, but either way, Jefferson coming back, with Tyreek Hill, Austin Eckler, ETN. This dude's roster is stacked, and he's probably the favorite to get the 1 seed. Let's go take a look at Slim, second place, number 1 quarterback. Other than that, obviously, like, this roster is just kind of mediocre. The players are popping off at the same time. Let me just shut that up real quick. So he's had good weeks. He's kind of up and down here. I don't really know what to make of this team. Bijan is a question mark. Gibbs is starting to put it together, but Montgomery's coming back at some point. We all know that. Devonta Smith finally had a good game. Gabe Davis is definitely hit or miss. And now he's rolling out Taysom Hill because Kittle's on bye. Same thing with Taysom. He could get you 2, or he could definitely get you 20. And then two Green Bay wide receivers, number 39 and number 86. Love does not look like the answer, and having those 2 guys just seems really strange to me. So we'll see what happens with this guy. I'm guessing like a 5 seed. Tommy, like I said, savvy player, got some really good players. DJ Moore, not the same without Justin Fields. Pittman's been struggling, had a good game last week, but Goddard had put it together and had a slow week last week. Wilson's looked way better than we all thought, so that was kind of a steal in that trade. McCaffrey on bye this week, tough matchup against Oak. We'll see what happens here, but I think there could be a little bit of a shakeup at the top. Moving on here to Oak's roster. Man, how funny is that? Patrick Mahomes on bye next week. I'm assuming he picked up Stafford for that. And look at all these guys on bye. How many Rams does this guy have? Puka, Stafford, Freeman, Kyron Williams. Jesus, dude. I don't know who he's going to – I don't even want to look at this roster anymore. I don't even know who he's going to start. I started the Raiders a couple weeks ago, and they looked god-awful. They did score a touchdown on Monday Night Football, but, dude, that team is a shit show. Let's wrap this up here. I want to see what the chances of Taco going 0-14 are. I feel bad for you, buddy. I really do, but I think everybody – we're rooting for you to get at least 1 win. But, dude, there is a chance you're playing number 2, and then you're playing me, which you traditionally don't do well against me. Then you got Spakey, who has a tough roster. It's going to come down, I think, to this matchup with you and Matt. And this could determine who comes in last, too, because Matt might lose a few more. Maybe you'll win one along the way. And then you got, this is a really tough schedule. What is it? 11, 15, 17, 27, and 27 wins over the next. It's going to be tough, man. Good luck. Let's take a look at this dude's roster real quick. I want to see what's going on here. How do I get to that real quick? Let's go here, and then we'll go here. See what we're dealing with. Oh, so Pollard hasn't turned out to be that good. Quarterbacks haven't turned out to be very good. Inconsistent from Lawrence. Love hasn't been very good, but we'll see if he can fill in for Lawrence. Keenan Allen's been a good bright spot. Evan Ingram's actually been really consistent, or super consistent. Metcalf's been a huge letdown. 2 or 3 big misses. I forget how much you spent on Waddle, but man, that really hurt you at the draft. $46, and I think Tyreek Hill went for 44. I hope you learned your lesson there, man. You can't just be spamming the bid button, dude. You got to be more, you got to be smarter about it. Saints D is pretty decent. They got a really good playoff schedule if anybody's going to try to steal them away from you. I don't know, man. Just a lot of question marks on this roster, too. I don't see – who do you have the week you played, Matt? I think that was week 13. Cook on by. Pretty decent schedule. I don't know. We'll see. I think there's a real chance you go 0-14, buddy. Sorry. Matchups this week. Rivalry week. Got the brother-in-law matchup. You got the Battle of the Ryans, the Battle of the Johns, the Battle of the Adams, and then just a random friendship battle against a bunch of losers. Let's see. I'll pull this up real quick and we'll take a look here at this. So right now, Matt is projected to beat me. I don't have a defense in. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty tight matchup. I like my matchups a little bit better. We'll see if Darrell Henderson can keep things going. Gus Edwards has been on fire. I don't know if that will continue. Olave sucks. They're playing the Bears. Had to pick up McBride because Waller is just constantly hurt. I've been trying to trade him off all year. You guys are too smart. No one wants to take him. But Laporte is legit, and he's got a great playoff schedule, so you guys better watch out. Let's see. What are these sounds? Yes, I'm still in the call. What the hell? Let's go to this next matchup. I'm going to predict a dad dude victory here on, I think on Monday night. If I'm not mistaken, it might be on Sunday night. Herbert playing the Jets. I feel like Herbert's had a lot of primetime games this year. Let's look at this next one right now. Super low projection for Uncle Taco, but he doesn't have a tight end and he doesn't have a kicker in. Again, I can't overstate how mediocre this roster is for Slim, and then he doesn't have Gibbs or Kittle. So it's going to be a tricky, this might be an opportunity for Taco to sneak one out if maybe he can make a trade or just have his players actually do what he needed them to do, where he drafted them. We'll see how that goes. I'm predicting a Slim victory because I think Taco's going 0-14 for karma. He's got to pay his dues for quitting. Oh wait, I forgot to switch tabs. Here it is. Let's go take a look at this matchup. Oak is always going to be projected really high. He hasn't hasn't hit his projection maybe once or twice in the year. I think he won 2 times the money, but Mahomes is coming around. It's going to be a high scoring game, super high over under. Jonathan Taylor's coming around. Hopefully he's not hurt. There's no Q next to his name, but the ankle thing worries me. Puka with no Stafford. Who knows what's going to happen there? You can always rely on Kelsey, Chase, Buffalo and Cincinnati. He's got a couple of high scoring matchups. Buffalo and Cincinnati and Miami and Kansas City, 2 really good games. So we'll see. And then Tommy, same thing. Buffalo, Kansas City. DeAndre Swift's been really good. Dallas's D is a little bit better. Stevenson's been awful, but the Redskins defense isn't great. Who knows what with Bill Belichick running backs. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the bounce back win for Oak here. And then a couple more here. The Battle of the Atoms. This one looks like it's actually going to be pretty interesting here. You got the quarterbacks facing each other, Hurts versus Prescott. You got 2 top running backs, Henry and Kamara, who's obviously returned to form. 2 really good RB2s, Joe Mixon, who's been mediocre but looked like he's back to himself the last couple of weeks after the bye. And then Breece Hall, who now that Dalvin's been, he seems fully healthy. He is absolutely a really good player. And if they had good quarterback play, I think he would be doing even better, right? They can stack the box against this dude. Hopkins is hurt. Who knows if that's sustainable? What did he have? 3 catches, but 2 really long touchdowns or something? I don't know if I'd be starting Hopkins this week. Maybe he just wants to watch him on Thursday Night Football. Scary Terry coming around a little bit. We'll see. And I don't know. Howell's been slinging it. Hawkinson is clearly going to beat Waller in the bet with Taco, so another L for Taco on that one. T. Higgins coming back into form, and then it's Falcons D. I think I like Spakey's team a little bit more here, but there is the potential for a couple of these guys on Pick's roster to just explode. Let me just show you real quick what I'm talking about. So Breece Hall going up against the Chargers. Defense is 23rd. Alvin Kamara against Chicago. Bad defense. Again, he's catching like 10 balls a game, it seems like. Bad defense for Hopkins, receiver-wise, but who knows if he's healthy. Same thing for McLaurin. Some good matchups here. I'm still going to go with Pick on this one, or Spakey on this one. Let's look at this last one here, and I'll let John Boy break it down his way a little bit. I just wanted to do roster breakdowns. This one seems like a no-brainer to me, but again, another one where Blake's team, who knows what's going to happen. I don't know what he's going to do with Kupp without Stafford. And then having the Andrews Jackson stack has been really valuable this year. 3rd best quarterback, 2nd best tight end, Thielen's been insane. It's been crazy to see Thielen doing this at his age with a rookie quarterback. It's almost like Thielen's playing that tight end role that the usually have that rookie quarterbacks usually rely on, and they're just throwing him a shitload of balls. So let's see. I'm gonna go with I like Blake's matchups, but I like John Boy's roster so much more. So we'll see if he can keep it rolling. So we'll wrap this up real quick and just remind everybody of the prestige power rankings. Not a shock that we see Taco down here, mostly because he hasn't won any games in a while, and he also only has 2 playoff wins. Congrats on the first person to 70 wins was Spakey last week. I forgot to call it out. And then you have me and Slim right behind at 70 total wins now. With Spakey at 71, and then Tommy at 68. And then you have a bunch of other slobs coming in here. I wanted to show one other thing real quick. Don't forget about this tool if you're ever curious to see, what your record is against your opponent. For me and Matt, we're 6-6, with me winning the only playoff game we've ever had, dominating him really. And then you can just flip, so if I want to see the battle of the Ryans here, so don't forget about this, man. I spent a lot of time on this. It's just cool to go and see there's bragging rights on the line. It looks like Taco traditionally beats Slim, so maybe he will pull off the upset here if we're thinking about like probabilities or whatever. So let me pull this up. No Pacer score. All right, man, that's it, guys. Actually, I want to do one more thing. I want to go back and look at John and Slim's roster in the playoffs. So let's look at week 15. My God, that's a lot of green for John Boy. I think we should all be really scared, to be honest with you. If he gets the 1 seed, none of these guys are playing, but if he doesn't, good luck. Week 16, if he makes it through, he's got some tougher matchups. It's going to be a little bit trickier, but man, that's a lot of green in week 15. Let's look at Slim's real quick. Let's pop on over to week 15. He's got looks like a couple of good matchups, a couple tough ones. I have a feeling he's not going to be starting Gabe Davis anyway. Jahmyr Gibbs, 32nd. Bijan, 31st. His running backs could absolutely go off there at the end of the season. And then if Kittle, Arizona's traditionally, they're actually pretty bad against the tight end. In fact, I saw a stat that they were like the worst team against the tight end over the last 10 years or something. But this year, teams are just running it down their throat, and then wide receivers were having a lot of success. So tight ends aren't scoring a lot. I don't know if they've played a whole lot of good tight ends. Let's see. Logan Thomas, Darren Waller, Jake Ferguson, Kittle shut him down. He might have been hurt. Cincinnati doesn't have a tight end. Higbee's not very good. No tight end in Seattle. Baltimore, so Mark Andrews is the only one. Now they got Njoku. Then they got Pitts and Jonnu. They haven't really gone against anybody, so maybe they're not that bad. For shits and giggles, let's see what Tommy's working with because he's got a good roster too. In week 15, lots of green for him too. So, and then Gino with 30th. When is Tua's bye week? Oh, next week. And who does Gino have? Washington. What a great sneaky little pickup there. John Boy. Fucking up, man. Nice pickup, Tommy. Very savvy. Let's look at, just for shits and gigs, we'll round it out with the top 4 with Oaks playoff schedule. A little bit of green here too. Man, this is going to be one of those years where you're going to have to survive, get to the playoffs, and then get lucky on who you're facing. Because you got Montgomery should be back. Worst, going against Denver. He's got the Chiefs going against New England on Monday night. I mean, Jamar Chase against Minnesota, 27th. I mean, he's going to be tough to beat too. The playoffs are just going to be absolutely brutal this year. I'm actually curious. I want to see my week 15 and see how I match up because I don't think I'm going to get a bye week. Let me take a look here and see. Oh, I got a little bit of green. Not a good matchup for Herbert. Diggs against Dallas in Buffalo too. Who wants to trade for him? You can ride him. You can ride him to get to the playoffs, and then you have to deal with Dallas. He's got a bye week coming up, but hit me up if you're interested. I'm not opposed to trading him. What did I keep him for? $12. So he'll be $17 next year. So hit me up. All these guys are available. Nobody's off limits. Don't be scared, jabronis. And let's see some shenanigans. See ya.